The Blind Shepherd from Prague, 1320 to 1356. As one of the most important prophecies, the prophecy of the young man is also valid for the Czech shepherd, which has been circulating for almost 650 years in the territory of Bohemia and Moravia. Sentences that no one could deal with for a long time and find the true meaning suddenly took on some clearer shape in 1914 because of the circumstances that led to World War I. This Prague psychic described them quite accurately, and they sounded amazing. We know too little about the origin and personality of this psychic. In 1922, Pastor Emanuel Jungmann tried to predict this blind young man from Prague but encountered resistance from Czech censorship. In 1924, the second edition appeared, but those passages that were censored were omitted. Reverend Jungmann persevered and studied in Czech libraries until he came to believe that the prophecies of the blind youth were printed in Czech as early as 1559. In 1602, it was possible to find one more copy in the Vienna court library. In 1678, the dissemination of these visions was prohibited by the ecclesiastical community. This young man from Prague predicted great deaths for the year 1347. A real plague raged in Bohemia that year. He predicted the coronation of the then Czech monarch, Wenceslas, son of John of Luxembourg, later King Charles IV, and finally Emperor Charles IV, by the Pope himself. In 1356, a blind shepherd was brought before the emperor, greatly influencing and deeply moving him with these prophecies. Prophecies individually. 1. Once, and another time, and half a time, a foreign sovereign will reign over the Czechs. 2. In a time when the ruler of Bohemia will reign for more than 60 years, the prince will be murdered, and a great war will arise. Here we are referring to Emperor Franz Joseph, who ruled for 68 years. On July 28, 1914, Archduke Ferdinand, the Austrian successor to the throne, was murdered, leading to the First World War. This event was a milestone in deciphering the meanings of these predictions because only now does one fit into the prophecies, which could have had a decisive meaning in the statements of this young man. 3. Then, the crown princes will fall like ripe apples from the tree. The era of the Habsburgs ended. 4. The Czech lion will never be subject again. From October 28, 1918, only Czech monarchs. 5. Two nations will live in Bohemia, German settlers and Czechs. 6. A part of the ruling nation will crave the life of the other and will not inherit any freedom. The ruling nation means the Czech nation. 7. Until a great ruler comes, Adolf Hitler, 1938, who sought power. 8. Then the lords of Prague will throw the freedom of the second nation out the window, but it will be too late. President Hadza offered the Sudeten Germans autonomy, but it was very late. 9. There will be another great war between all the nations of the earth, the Second World War. 10. Germany will be one big pile of ruins, and only those who have been spared will remain in areas of blue stones. The Second World War cost us 25 million victims, of which 7 million were Jews. 11. This great war will end when the cherries blossom. In May 1945, cherry blossoms had just bloomed. 12. While the cherries are ripening, I wouldn't want to be any German. The symbol of ripening cherries points to a rapid decline of events, as indeed in 1945, the war ended, and in 1946, the Sudeten Germans were expelled during the ripening of cherry trees. 13. When the cherries are harvested, I wouldn't want to be any Czech. Here, the emphasis is on the moment of the end of the cherry season, which is not only a beautiful season but also signifies the conclusion of certain events in history. Here, the Prague blind man expressed his desire not to be a Czech just when the cherries are active. To a great surprise, those cherries come to the fore once more in a prophetic vision. 14. The Czech land will be sifted twice. The first time only so many will remain of Germans as can fit under one bushy oak tree. They were moved away from the Sudetenland, greatly reducing the German population. 15. The Czech lion will reign again in Bohemia, but its shine is over. 16. Only one nation will live in Bohemia, a Slavic nation. 17. One new war will break out, which will be the shortest. It breaks out, means an unexpectedly fast start, or new may mean a new kind of leadership war, but we are already talking about the much feared 3. 18. The Czech nation will be destroyed by this war, and everything in the country will be buried. This prediction coincides quite well with Alois Erlmeyer's prediction, and so on deliver. 19. The Czech land will be sifted twice. The second time it will only increase as much Czechs. How much can fit in just one palm of the hand? 20. But there will be no peace in Europe until only ruins remain from Prague. 21. Once again, Prague will be destroyed during the cherry blossom season, cherry blossom again, but an allegory that no one reckons with it because external symptoms, signs, and omens, so the unexpected entry of this event cannot be accepted, let alone assumed. 22. The sun will fall on the earth, and the earth will shake. This is what the prophet meant, a different sun than we know. 23. That revenge came from above the great water. That does not mean that it is from America. 24. When the cherries ripen the next time, i.e., in another year, they will return exiled from Bohemia, sad again to their lord, to their looms, the loom, and to their fields. Again the prophet warns us about the time of the ripening of cherries, as if it should be something phenomenal for the Czech nation's time. They will return to the loom, i.e., to the weaving table, to handwork from the Middle Ages. 25. But there will be very few of them. 26. And these few will ask each other, where were you tucked away? And where were you? 27. The peasants will crack their whips behind the plow while saying, here she stood Prague. 28. A new age will come to the world, and it will be called gold. Alois Erlmeyer also claims this. That's it for today. Please let us know in the comments what you think about this or other prophecies and which prophecies you would like to see on our channel. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day. Bye.